All right, welcome to the show, Xyah Aaliyah. This is an episode of HASSDISCUSSES, a little podcast, and yeah, you're an artist and a musician, and tell me about that new single you released.
Okay, I released Lust for Love, I think about a day or two ago. It was a really, I think it was a big project for me because it was something I never really did before. I always try to be as versatile as I can be. It was basically just talking about like, I feel like I lust over love a lot. I feel like I used to look for it a lot, in myself, not even like relationships wise. I would just look for it a lot. And I feel like I was finally validating myself in a way. So this song was kind of empowering for me.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Like, what did you mean, in a sense that it's like a new territory? I mean, an emotional territory, or like the actual sound of the song?
I think a little bit of both. The sound of the song is very, I don't know, it's very different. It was interludes in it, and I was used to like just doing like basic stuff for a while because I was so scared to like step out of my comfort zone. But emotionally, it's been like, I don't know, it's been so different because I'm grasping onto so many more aspects.
Yeah. So are you like like a lot of people that I interview, they're all like, "Oh my god, I freestyle everything," but like you're not a rapper, you're an actual singer. Like, do you like take the time to like, write everything down?
I take the time to really understand my lyrics. Usually what I do is like I write my songs as poems first because I me,
That's
and
dope.
then yeah, and then I basically it's like whatever I'm feeling that day. Whatever I'm feeling that day, I write it down in my journal and it turns into a poem, and that's what I sing about. On Lust for Love, that was actually a freestyle. I did do that. I was like so scared to do the beat because I never did something like that.
Yeah.
So I had to like see how I wanted it, but it was because it was so emotional for me that like I was able to do that. It just rolled off my tongue. So yeah.
So like, when you're doing the whole art, singing and stuff like that. Well, I think when you do any creative art, you kind of like look at someone's process. Whose process did you kind of study? Maybe look at like a behind the scenes video or something like that. Who is that artist for you that you really study their process?
That artist for me would have to be Aaliyah, the lead singer that died. Basically, everything that, like her style, how she was, I grew up listening to her, and it was just something that I was so grasped by. Like, I just loved her so much. Also, a couple others. SZA, I love her music, but I know this is probably going to sound cliche, but Beyonce, I study her work ethic to the T
Oh
because
nah, I love Beyonce, bro. Like,
I
oh my
love her.
god.
And it's like she doesn't stop. She does not stop. And it's like she keeps going. And I try my hardest to keep going because I want to get to a certain point in my life, down to the work ethic, to the dancing, to being able to believe in yourself, having what little you have and making it into something like I study her a lot.
You a fan of her sister Solange?
Yeah, I am a
Dude,
big,
you hear that one song, "Cranes in the Sky"?
oh my gosh. That's like one of my favorite songs by her.
Yeah, like and she did that one song with Lil Wayne, and that was a song where Lil Wayne, like, he actually like openly admitted to attempting suicide on that song, which is like really overlooked, like, cuz you think Lil Wayne, he would always talk about how he would like say that, oh, when I was 8 years old I had an accident with a gun. He always said that in interviews up until that song dropped with Solange, and it was called Mad. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's one of my mom's favorite songs.
Yeah, like I don't know. When I heard that, I was like hella proud for like Lil Wayne. I was like, damn, this guy's like real. It takes a lot of courage to admit that. Like, would you agree?
I think it takes a lot of courage to admit any type of feelings you have during any event in your life. I don't think people will realize like the emotional support you need behind making music for people, and I mean real artists. Like that is their everyday lives. That is things that they've been through. Everything that they have, they perform it within their music. And that is how I express myself. Music is, I don't know, I literally did not know how to express myself in any way. Like, I have so much social anxiety, but when it comes to music, I'm just able to do it.
It's like a clear outlet. Is that what you say? Like a clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's dope. But so you say you need a lot of emotional like backing. Like, who is that in your life that really helps out? That like maybe isn't involved with the music exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have my friends, my best friend Tatiana. She's always there. Um, it doesn't matter where we are, where we go. I'm telling you, like, she promotes my music nonstop. She's like my mini manager. I don't know what that is, but
That's
like,
dope.
I don't have anyone. I have her, you know, because it's so hard to get support when you're just starting out with music. It really is. And it's okay because, you know, I believe in my craft and I believe in my journey. But if there's anyone I have, it's her. So I'm immensely grateful for her.
Yeah, shout out to her. So like when let's go back to the beginning because like sometimes I forget to cover that in interviews because like I'm so caught up in like what's the now because like that's more interesting to me to be honest. But I gotta ask though, when did singing like start to become a huge part of your life? Like when and why? Well, I mean you already told me why because it's a good emotional outlet. But like when?
I've been singing since as long as I can remember. Like since my mom had me singing in church nonstop. Um, Singing for me really started to get to me when I was maybe during quarantine, like a little bit before that. But I really started to believe in myself. I was at such a down place. I was not like I was just. It was really down. It was depressing. I don't know. And when I finally got to this point, I was like, okay, let me like try to write. And I was writing, and one day I was singing, and I was just like, okay, will this be a good song? And that's how Too Pure came about. And you
Right.
know, I just got like this wave of confidence to keep going because I realized that I really can get to where I want to be in life.
Yeah, that's how it kind of was for like the podcasting thing. Like I was kind of doing it beforehand, but like I kind of took it more serious when the quarantine hit. Cause like you're just
Right.
kind of in your room. You don't have anything to do. You might have. I was in like a relationship prior, and like you couldn't be with them. You can now because everybody's like it's not fully done, but you know what I'm saying. Like it was like a real stressful time, and then I kind of just thought to myself like I want to do like interview. I want to take it more seriously, and I started getting it on Apple and stuff like you
Right.
know. Yeah, I mean, like those blind. That's like a blind side, right? That quarantine was a blind side. It's like it's like losing kind of someone because you're like losing a world. You know what I mean? So like
Mhm.
those really help people in a way. Like you know, as messed up as it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it for sure helped me. A lot of people saw 2020 as a bad thing, but without quarantine, I would not be where I'm at. Like I every day like I was just so like confused on what I wanted to do in life. I wanted to go to college because I wanted to make my mom happy, but what was making me happy, you know? And when I finally realized in my mind, like, you know, I really want to do music, you know, I just was like, I don't care, I'm gonna do it. Like, and I finally did it. It was just like such an eye opener. And I feel so good. Like when I finally get home, like from work or my jobs or whatever, and I go home in my room and I go in my little mini studio. It's like everything for me. It's literally
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. Like having like So you mainly record at your house. You don't go to like a big studio or just you got
I've
your
been
own
to the
stuff.
studio one time, or well, more than once, but like I've recorded one time. But I have really bad social anxiety, and I have to be like in my zone to do it, and I that requires me to be with myself,
Yeah, there's
which
a certain what were you saying?
I know I'm gonna have to change that eventually. But like it's like I like being in my room, being able to write and just
Yeah,
go with it.
controlled environment, but there's like this certain bond. If you go to like a big studio, there's a bond you have to create with the engineer.
Yeah.
Your music sounds on point from like from what I heard. Like that's why I interviewed you, right? Because it sounds on point. But like when in the studios, it's cool to see like the bond between the engineer and the artist. Like it's a real. I don't know, like just going. I've seen studio sessions before. It's real magical, When you,
It
it is magical. Like I just love
is.
this shit.
Mhm.
Um, but you're based out of the Baltimore area. Like what friends or other local artists like do you like want to like work with or something? Smaller artists in general.
I have a couple different artists. I know this one boy that I wanted to work with. His name is Keyshawn King. I want to work with this one boy. His name is Zay Quarter. He lives in like Vegas. I know a couple of them. Bia, I've been working with Zay. You know, he's one of the producers. I've been working with a lot of producers. I
Slide by
honestly want to
Zay.
get, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You in that group chat, right?
yeah,
Dude, that is a wild group chat. Like it's a bit like there's
yeah,
so many people in it. Like it's really like
yeah.
I was arguing with them. I was like, someone was like, no small artist should ever drop an album, and I was like, whoa,
That's No, I think my first EP is literally gonna be this summer, and I have to drop it. Like I feel like I have to give people that.
please.
Yeah, I have to give people that that leadway to pick a song that they really like. Because now people are just picking from like my 5 singles, and I feel like it's really good for small artists to disclose like an EP or an album. That way they can have like a variety of music. People
Yeah.
really understand your craft and how far you will go if you drop something that big. Because dropping an EP or an album is not easy. So if they see how hard you're going with that, I feel like it's good for that artist.
So who was I just interviewing? We were talking about Swishy the God. He's like a Delaware producer, and he was telling me like, um, it's like we were kind of making a comparison. It was like short films and feature films. You know what I'm saying? Like feature films are like albums and EPs, and like the higher ups will notice like probably if you make a bunch of small feature films or short films. I don't know, but I do like EPs though. I've been growing fond of them. Like mixtapes are just kind of like sloppy most of the time. But like you're not a rapper, but from a lot of rappers I hear it can be sloppy and stuff like that. But EPs are like a little small little packet. You know those little like stocking gifts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what the EP is. Like Scary Hours 2. That was a blessing. You heard that right by Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was a blessing. But so you plan on when in the summer can we expect the EP?
I am planning on doing it right, like in the middle. It was supposed to come out on my birthday this year, which is April, but I was like, I'm gonna give myself a little bit more time so I can really see how I like it. Because I realized from like the tiny fan base that I do have, they like a certain kind of music. But I like to dip and dab into every genre. All of my songs are different genres. I want to do as much as I can for that EP. I want it to be big. I want to be able to blow up off of something from that EP. So I want to take my time. So I think probably in the middle of the summer.
Yeah, we need a music video though. I don't know if you already have one, but that would be
Yeah,
dope.
I'm working on a video right now for summertime. Um,
That's the I'm hyped for that. I get real hyped. But so I got a question sort of about like a different lane you could go in. Like, would you ever consider like acting or doing some other form of entertainment? Like, if you know how people just blow up and then they do whatever the fuck they want. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Um,
what would that be for you? Like,
I used to really want to model, but apparently I'm too short. So I think that fashion is really good for me. I love designing my own clothes and make my own clothes. Fashion is something that is so hip to me. I also paint, and I don't think I could do acting because I laugh too much. There's no way I'm going to be able to get through the script. Everything will be bloopers. Like I don't know. But besides that, just fashion, music, art in general.
yeah,
So
I take acting classes, and the best thing about acting is like the warm ups they give you. Like they'll
mm,
give you some vocal warm up, and you'll be like saying gibberish, but it helps like your like the way you pronounce stuff. Like it's just like they'll give you like I love it. I feel like everybody should try acting, and that's like I've said people who paint. They say everyone should try painting. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I haven't tried painting. Like that's my thing. Like, do you think I should try painting?
I think you should try. Painting is such a good stress reliever. Like if I can, I do it like almost every night in my room. Like after I'm done recording or doing whatever, I just put on music and I just paint. And you just paint whatever. You don't have to have something set in mind. Whatever you feel, however your hand moves, just do it. It's good. You should do it.
Yeah. Like so. Like just don't think too much when you're painting. Is that what you mean?
I think art is very subjective, of course. I think everything is mostly subjective. I think when you paint, anybody can be an artist. And there's no right or wrong answer when it comes to art and your form of it. So I think like when you just have that paintbrush or when you just have that mic in your hand, just do whatever, feel whatever, just say it, just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good advice to any aspiring artists listening and stuff like that. Now, since you kind of brought the Beyonce, like that just kind of gave me nostalgia, like because that was like I used to hate hearing like a bunch of songs on the radio, but now like as I've become a music journalist, I'm very fond of the 2009 to 2013 era of music. Like I've always told people that's like my favorite time of music. So what like kind of song or artist really gives you nostalgia or stuff like that? You know what I mean?
Let me see. That would either have to literally, it's always going to be Beyonce, but it would have to be Beyonce, Aaliyah. It would have to be Rihanna. Rihanna's a big one.
Yes. Yes.
I like her music. I just, especially like music when she first started out, like I get so much. I don't know.
Like what year are you talking?
I'm talking about like, let me see. Okay, honestly, I liked her. I loved her era of like anti for one, but I loved like her songs when she was like Ponder Replay. I think that's how you say it. But like that era, like era that she had, like that entire era. Like I feel like all the artists from that era, especially.
Yeah. What is she doing now besides like dating ASAP Rocky? Like, do you think?
I think that she is doing a lot of fashion stuff. Like she has her lingerie line, her clothing line, her makeup line. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So she's at that point where it's like, okay, I dropped like classics. Now I get to do whatever I want. Like,
Yeah, I think that Rihanna is at that point. I mean, she can drop whatever and it's gonna go how far it's gonna go because she's Rihanna. And plus she always made hits. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I think
yeah,
she's at that point where as though she doesn't really know if she wants to still do music. I can't really speak for her, but I definitely see myself doing something as her when I get to a certain age or when I get to a certain time in my life.
yeah,
For any artist, I feel like they expand to different points in their life. You know, they make music, and I feel like they're forever going to make music, but they have other things like businesses to keep their wealth, to keep
yeah.
their aspirations going.
Like you look at the greats. Like Kid Cudi, he got a lot into film production. I think he produced this one movie. You're a fan of Kid Cudi, I assume.
I have listened to some of his music.
Oh, but what he produced a movie or some shit. But I don't know, but he's got like a lot of movies that he produced, and I like mess with that. I really like that, and obviously Jay-Z is a billionaire because he's died. He has all his companies and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, what message do you kind of want to show in most of your music?
The message that I really try to, I guess, convey is literally just do what you want to do. Literally just do whatever. Because all of my songs have different meanings, of course, but I try to show that I'm really a free and carefree person. Like I'm very adventurous and I try to just let people know that they can be all that they want to be. You can do whatever you want to do. You can feel whatever you want to feel for whoever you want to feel it for. Be whoever you want, be with whoever you want, and it's like I feel like every day we try so hard and we get up and we have this motive in our mind to get to where we need to be and we never realize that we're losing sleep over hard times and not having fun. I just want people to have fun with my music. I want people to have fun in general.
Yeah, yeah. Like I could definitely see your music being enjoyed by a lot of people, and like you know everything. I just feel like everything is gonna be smooth. I'm just gonna say that. But you also got you didn't you like slow and reverb some of your tracks?
I did.
Like I love that, but like I want to ask you like because often people play slowed and reverb when they're like I don't know doing something studying or when they're just chilling in the room and have nothing to do. Like what's your favorite like slowed and reverb song that's like just that's not your song. You know what I mean?
Okay. 4422 by Drake. Um, that's
Sampha, dude.
like when I'm telling you, it don't matter what mood I'm in, I'm gonna listen to that 24/7. I listen to a lot of Slow to Reverbs by Xyah Aaliyah. I feel like all her songs hit different.
Oh, that's how you pronounce her name?
Xyah Aaliyah, yeah.
Like, yeah,
Well, I think
like
they say Iko. But I know people say it two different ways.
yeah, I want to get into her more in Cash, Page, and Kelani. Like, I want to hear one of their songs, slowed and reverb. But I think a really good song, slowed and reverbed, is um, "Doing It Wrong" by Drake.
You're not lying. You're not
Yeah,
lying.
like that's. Marvin's Room is like the song already sounds like it's slowed and reverb,
Yes.
like already, like, and that's what's so cool about it is like you don't really have to change it. Um, I mean I have a cardboard cutout of Drake, so like you know I'm just gonna be saying a lot of Drake songs. Let me think of a non-Drake song. That's good, slowed and reverbed. Damn. It's like I Wonder by Kanye.
I Wonder by Kanye.
You know what I'm saying? The one with like, oh, I wonder what it means. It's on
I don't,
Graduation.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
Nah, I don't want to play it because like copyright strikes. But yeah. Any other songs that you could think of?
Slow to reverb. Good Days by SZA. Someone slow to reverb that. I love that one. Um, I don't know. I think for sure for me too. Any Drake song is slow to reverb because I listen to him a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
same.
6 Inch Heels by Beyonce and featuring The Weeknd. Slow to reverb is really good, even though it already sounds that, but it sounds really good.
Okay, this is which Weekend song is get slowed and reverb. I gotta, cause I listen to Weekend too much. Like, I like the
Hi.
Weekend when he's like singing about like cocaine and being homeless. Like I like
Yeah.
hearing about the Weekend when he was like probably a horrible person.
Hmm.
Cause like that's like that's real Weekend. Like I don't like Happy Weekend, and I don't say that in a way that
I don't happy weekend either, but
yeah,
I'm
like
glad you're happy. But I feel like the best music you make is at your lowest state. I think High for this, or The Hills by The Weeknd, Slow to Reverb is so good. Like,
and
I don't know.
I think like art in general when it's made in like the worst parts of your life or like just entertainment in general, like when it's made in dark parts, like I could tell you right now when I have a interview that I got like 1,200 views from like in November, right? And during that was happening, I was having like a lot of arguments with a lot of people, and
Mhm.
like it was a horrible time, right? But that interview shot up, and that's just how things go. But which I assume you've listened to the trilogy project by Weekend, like all three of them. Like which,
For
yeah. So, um, which like which of the three do you listen to the most though?
all of them. I'm telling you, like, when I tell you that it's like The Weeknd, Drake, Beyonce, I listen to the same people every day. But The Weeknd, I listen to him like when I need inspiration. Like, I feel like for him, his voice is so different. It's authentic. You can listen to any of his music at any time because
Yeah,
all of his songs have like different vibes, but like at the same time, it still gets you to that place. Like he also brings a lot of nostalgia for me.
yeah. Have you ever looked into like his days as King Kane when he was a rapper?
I don't think I ever have.
So there's a lot of behind the scenes footage and like you just look up YouTube like old Weekend footage, rare Weekend footage, and there's all these vlog footage. Like he didn't have a YouTube channel or anything, but he would like people would vlog him and he would be on like a bus with his friends and he'd be like singing Happy Birthday. Like used to be that kid who just annoyed all his friends by singing. Like
That I like those kind of kids.
yeah, but like there's so much footage on it and like of him like doing the raw vocals like in the studio and stuff like that, and him even rapping. Like I definitely go down that rabbit hole of like old Weekend footage because like it shows how goddamn authentic he is. Like everybody when he started coming out, everybody's like, who's this dickhead with all the auto tune? Like no, it's not that much auto tune. Like yeah, he reverbs it every now and then and it echoes. Like you hear the morning, like you know what I mean. That's
Even when you hear him like perform live, I've like never heard like I don't know, even with him not using a microphone or him just singing, it's just still that raw voice. He has such an authentic voice. I've never heard someone that is so clear. I don't know. I love The Weeknd.
yeah, and also when he was like coming up, he was really like not confident, like with like how he looked, and that's why he never didn't do any interviews. Everybody, there's a period where everybody thought it was a band, and that it was like
Mm.
three people. That was like the Weekend was a band or something like that, like a and stuff like that, and and then he kind of had to grow into that confidence. So by the time The Hills dropped, he kind of had that confidence, and you know and I like those stories when people sort of break out from like not being confident. Does any artist have that for you that you could think of?
Mm, that would have to be SZA.
What was her struggles?
I think SZA struggled a lot for like her complexion. I hear her talk all the time how she struggled even to like make the image for like Hollywood because like the industry has like a very depicting image on how they want their women to look, how they want them to sound, and it really is hard as a black woman, not even to like be in R&B, but it's hard for a black woman, my complexion, to get to a certain point because you have to have that attraction. You have to have that appeal. You can have a great voice, but you have to have a lot of things just to be on top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another one would have to be Normani as well because she went through certain struggles. Um, I don't know. I feel like it's just a struggle that I have, especially.
Yeah, and speaking of whole like how the women want to industry that type of stuff. Chica, that's why I love Chica so much. She
Mhm.
doesn't have to do any of that. She's just like a beautiful. She's just like I'm who I am. I'm like she's just like seems so confident and proud, and I just love Chica. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. Zay showed me the other day.
Yeah, she's like I'm not hating on anybody. I'm not hating on this person who I'm comparing her to, but I feel like she should have won a lot of she should have won like a lot of Grammys over like Meg The
She should
Stallion.
have.
I don't hate Meg The Stallion. It's just like it's like the way the amount of time she blew up, it just seems like scary to me like how fast that happened, you know what I mean? You know when an artist just like blows up out of nowhere, it's like, geez, man, like that's a good song. But like
Yeah, I understand what you mean. I think both artists are great. I think that's what you're like, of course. I do think a lot of people are robbed when it comes to the Grammys. It's just so many more like great and authentic songs. I'm not like one to say who does and who doesn't deserve certain things, but I definitely believe that some artists were really robbed because they put so much into their craft, and it's like we listen to songs and we've heard that before. It's the same people winning over and over again. It's like, yeah, their success, but it's more so over because of them being popular than their music being as good as how it is. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's like you don't see them awarding superhero movies Oscars because not all superhero movies are great movies. Like they're not
Mhm.
they're sort of
Exactly.
like you know what I mean?
Exactly. I completely understand.
Like I'm not saying superhero movies are bad, but if you're gonna compare it to like you can't compare some superhero movie to like Judas and the Black Messiah. Like you
All
can't.
right. I understand what you mean.
Or let me think of another example of a good movie. Like just there's certain masterpieces that have came out that like should have. That's why I'm glad the Oscars doesn't do that too much. But I feel like they often pick like a historical drama because it's a historical drama. Like
Right.
I don't know. Do you like? Are you into movies at all? Cause
I'm into
I
movies.
yeah, like what type of movies are you into?
I love supernatural movies, horror movies, documentaries, anything about psychotic thrillers.
Mm. Like give me some examples.
I love. Okay, what's my favorite movie? Okay, I love all of like the entire the whole Annabelle, like all of the movies that they say you gotta watch in order. If you watch them in order, it's like so
The
scary. Like
Conjuring universe.
you said, what?
The Conjuring universe.
Yeah, the entire thing, like
Yeah.
like the entire thing.
Like La Llorona or whatever, and then Annabelle, and then what else is there?
And
There's
it's
a
the Nun, and then it's like Annabelle 2, The Conjuring, and like the entire thing. It has to be that, but I'm also like a sucker for like mushy movies too. Like I love Titanic, but it has to have like some
yeah. When I
thing
was
behind.
7, like I used to watch that like every day for some reason. Like I was 7, I was like obsessed with the Titanic. Like that was like the
I,
first really good movie that I watched.
yes, I love the Titanic so much, so much. Honestly, any horror movie, more so like shows though. I'm into shows a lot, like Supernatural, anything with vampires,
So
anything.
like Buffy.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, yes. Vampire Diaries, originals. I'm like really into Twilight, the saga.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh yeah, I never could get that. I did. I like. I think I saw like 2 seconds of it on TV, and like I don't know. I don't think I'll get into that.
Twilight? You talking about Twilight?
Yeah, no.
Please, that's literally like my favorite out of all favorites.
Yeah, I just couldn't like maybe I will. Maybe one day I will. Maybe one day I'll like start dating someone and they'll make me watch it and I'll be like, okay, fine, it's good. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the only scenario that could happen where I'd like actually watch that movie, you know.
Right.
But yeah, so like the production's pretty on point in your music. Like who handles that? Like do you produce it or do you like just buy them online?
Um, Basically what I do is that I have a lot of friends that are producers and that have taught me how to produce. For stargazing, I completely produced that all on my own. It was really hard, but I had to mix and engineer that all by myself. Most of my engineering and mixing is either by Zay. There's another person that I have, Gemini Child, and then Carlo is one of my producers as well. So honestly, it's just like the base that I have, they're really good at it. It's really hard because I have to send tracks like over and over until we get it right because we're not really close to each other. You know, some of them live in like completely different
Sounds like you
states.
got a team, sort of
I,
like not
I do,
officially, but like you know, a cool like group of people.
yeah, I do have a little small team. Yeah.
That's cool. Like see that like like when did you start like working with Zay? Like when did that start?
When I got added to the group chat, everyone out of the group chat sent me like their individual songs, their individual like mixing. And Zay was so like prominent and he's very professional and he's very kind. You know, we formed like a friendship, you know, I think of him like my brother now. And so when I sent him Summertime, and he mixed it for me and he was like, yeah, I can do it anytime. And he mixed it. I was like, wow, like he really did a good. I was so shocked because usually I send stuff to people and I'm just like, bro, I don't know what this is. Like, but he did such a great job. He mixed Lust for Love. He mixes all of my stuff now. So, because I believe in him so much. And plus I want him to get as much exposure as he can with that as well. But I love Zay. He does such a good job.
Yeah, shout out to Zay. I showed him some of my beats and he likes it. I'm in the group chat. I just go by a different name in there. I'll tell
You make you make beats too?
yeah.
Send me some. Like I would love to listen to
I'll
them.
there's any something that like you could work with. Like
Of
you
course.
know, like I make some hardcore stuff, but then I like doing some smooth stuff. Like I like to do like Memphis horrorcore, Memphis
Mm,
trap, but then I also do the whole like synth vaporwave stuff also,
mm.
which I feel like you could like that. You could appreciate the whole like 80s sound.
I could. I really could. That is like I think 70s, 80s, sometimes 60s, or any sound that's like really old school retro, kind of jazz pop. I can appreciate anything really when it comes to music. So of course.
That's why I love that whole bedroom pop type of stuff. Like you know, those girls like Girl in Red and like
Me too.
Claro. I love Girl in Red. Oh my god,
My
fucking
friend
queer
me too.
icon. Because I mean I'm bisexual, so like you know what I'm saying. So
Mm.
like I like that Girl in Red's music kind of made me really like confident about like my sexuality and stuff like
As you
that.
should, as you should. I'm glad you feel as confident as you do within yourself.
Yeah, like for real. You know Claro too. Beach Bunny is kind of like that. You know what I'm talking about? Beach Bunny.
I've never heard of Beach Bunny.
Um, People get them confused with Bad Bunny, but I don't know. I've never listened to Bad Bunny. I've never
I,
listened to Bad Bunny.
I don't think I've ever listened to Bad Bunny either.
Like they're pretty him. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty big in Mexico. Shout out to Mexico. Um, what people in that sort of bedroom pop lane are you a fan of?
Midnight Trust. Yeah, that's like it's like a band. They're a Canadian band,
Yeah.
and I recently started listening to them. I'm pretty sure they're like a more like bedroom indie pop. I don't really know, but they're definitely in there. That's how I
Yeah,
discovered their
like you
song.
can also talk about like indie pop or indie.
Indie indie pop is like something I'm really into. That's more so how my song Summertime is, like an indie alternative pop.
Yeah,
But Midnight Trust is something I love. I don't know. I love the entire band. Like it's so good.
yeah. Like I love that lane of like just like that indie pop, but I also like I want to get more into R&B more because like I just feel like I don't do that enough. Like I listen to the last mainly the R&B I listen to is like The Weeknd, and I feel like I could do what much better. You know, like I
I
really
see what you mean. I feel like it's really easy to get into R&B when you know the right people, but it's really hard when you first start out because there's a lot of people that sound like people sound really like they don't sound raw, they don't sound original, they just sound like everyone else. So when you're getting
yeah
into that, you got to get into people like Summer Walker. She has her own sound. I don't know one person that sounds like
yeah.
her, you know, but I understand what you mean. That's how I was at first too.
And I think the main problem with me getting into R&B is because all these rappers now are like singing and rapping. So like I don't hate that, but they think that them singing and rapping means that they're good. It doesn't mean that you're good. It just means that you're singing and you're rapping. That's all that
Right.
it means. Like you're not doing something original like completely like or like the people that do it often annoy me like
Right.
um let me think of examples of who annoys me. Like I don't know. I don't think of an example, but you know how one artist will be like, "Oh, I'm doing a rap rock album. I'm unique." No, you're not.
I see what you mean.
Everybody's done. Everybody's starting to do that, and it's like drill music. Like,
Mm.
you know how
I
like you what?
I feel like people don't really understand the methods behind art. They like, and like I said, art is subjective. You can do whatever you want, but when it's like you're in a certain genre, people know you for that, and then you come out with a new genre, you gotta really understand how to take on that genre
Yeah.
because you're just, unless you're just putting out a bunch of trash at this point.
Like that's what's cool about Drake is he's never stopped the way he's done his R&B and singing
Yeah,
stuff. Like he still does the Valentine's Day I had sex, okay, and then he's got the fucking like that's the rap shit, and then he's got the I'm outside in the AMV. Like it's like he still consistently does that, and that's why he
right.
does it good. And not a lot of artists can do that good. I mean, like what other rappers and R&B singers do you think have like successfully done it for a while? Like
Okay,
that both rap and sing. You know what I mean?
sing both rap and sing. Janae Aiko, that's a big one. She raps and she sings, but she knows how to do it so it still is in her sound and her fan base will still love it. Because once you get a certain fan base, they love whatever you do, honestly. But you have to keep them gravitating towards your music. And I think she does that so effortlessly. SZA kind of does it a little bit. Bryson Tiller, he does it. I think he does it successfully. He
Yeah.
does it so effortlessly. Like I don't know. It's always something different with him, but it stays within like who he is. He never tries to do too much, and I don't know. I love Bryson Tiller.
Yeah, yeah. Like when he came out, that reminds me of like in the industry, like when he started like booming, is like it reminds me of Musically and like Dub Smash and like all that, like in Vine, and like
Yeah.
that just brings me back. Like a lot of people like sort of cringe at that era of like Musically, but like I loved it. Like the whole like
I love that era. I feel like when I read like stories of how artists came up, like the ones that touch me the most are like Billie Eilish and Bryson Tiller. Bryson Tiller was on accident, like, and so was Billie Eilish's, you know? And it's like during that era, it's like, and it's so easy now, but like it's so easy to like put out something and then people just start listening to it and they create things to it and it's so catchy. And it's just like, wow, your life can turn around so fast. Like you never know.
it's like 24K Golden with Valentino
Mm,
and what else was there? Like City of Angels and Mood. Mood's
yeah.
annoying though. Like that song's annoying. And yeah, I don't like. It's not that I don't like Ian Dior. I like Ian Dior, but like I don't know how that song was in the number one that long. Like it's a decent song. Like I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? 24K Golden.
24, I've heard it only because of my brother.
Okay, but like, he's dope. And also he left me on red about an interview. So
Shout out to him.
damn. I mean, we used to text, but then he just kind of stopped. Damn, Golden. You need to start responding if you're listening or watching. I know he's watching. But yeah. So like, what? Okay, let's say you get to choose your future, right? Which you kind of are. But let's say you like some magical sort of entity comes to you and say, "Here's a way that you can tell me how you want to blow up." It's like, what way would you pick for you to blow up? surprise, or like do you want it to be heavily calculated?
I want it to be a surprise so bad because I want to be able to wake up in the morning and check my streams and I'm just like, wow, like what happened? Or I want to wake up in the morning and I see something or I hear my song or I'm driving or whatever and I'm hearing my song on the radio or it just happens by surprise. I feel like that would just light me up so bad because I don't know. I want to see something where as though I know that I made it and I feel like the surprise would be much better. Probably kill me because it's all I ever wanted. But I think I would much rather choose a surprise.
Yeah, I was thinking though, cause I interviewed this gentleman from New Zealand, and I was thinking like, how would he feel? Like, I want to know like, how would it feel? No, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying like, it probably feels really good to have someone sing your lyrics. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah,
know if anybody's done that to you, but
they
like,
have.
in a show or something like that. You know what I mean?
It's literally I've only done like when it comes to shows, I've only done like talent shows and stuff. But I went to the mall the other day with my brother and these girls came up to me and I thought they was like, oh my God. And I was just like, I didn't know who they were, but I thought they were talking about from Instagram because it has happened before. People was like, oh, I love your fashion. But she was like, no, I'm talking about your music. And I was like, honestly, I could not help it. I had to go in the bathroom and cry because I was just like, wow, like those are two people that like my
Yeah.
music. And she started singing Too Pure. And I was just like, wow. Like I don't know like why it touched me so bad, but it's just like, okay, those are two extra people that love my music that are willing to see me shine. Like I appreciate it so much.
That was probably a moment. You know?
That was overwhelming because I thought they were gonna say something about like, oh, because that's happened before. Like people were like, oh, you're Xyah from Instagram. Like I've seen you because where we are, like everyone goes to the same mall, and it's like, I thought they were gonna say something about my fashion, but they said something about my music, and it was so like it was weird for me, and I don't know, put a smile on my face.
Yeah, I mean, I hope every artist gets that moment. Everyone that I've interviewed, also people I haven't interviewed who are on the come up, who are making stuff that they're confident in. I hope you do that. I'm breaking the fourth wall. Please, I hope you find that point in your life where people are singing your lyric, and I hope everybody who's listening or watching enjoyed the interview. And do you have anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
Listen to my singles, but most importantly, listen to Lust for Love on all platforms.
Link in
It
the
is on.
description.
But thank you for this interview.
Yeah, thank you for joining. All right, links in the description to her social media and her SoundCloud and YouTube and all that, and Linktree or whatever. See you guys in the next podcast.